My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. I will be doing a special segment tonight if Rick Saccone wins in Pennsylvania. And please share my pinned comment below. It's the YouTube segment that I did regarding why Pompeo will release emails, incriminating emails, classified emails, redacted emails, FOIA, and that correspondence pertaining to FOIA requests that were backlogged while Tillerson was heading the State Department. Brian Pagliano, the guy who set up Hillary Clinton's private server that was unequipped, obviously hacked by the whole planet, but unequipped to store special access program intelligence and top secret intelligence. That Brian Pagliano, all of those people, Cheryl Mills, Heather Samuelson, they should all be very, very worried, especially David Kendall, her longtime attorney, very worried that Pompeo is now the new Secretary of State. People are focusing on the new CIA director. Understandably, she presided over some pretty dark, horrible things in the Bush administration, but guess what? A great many of the neoconservatives, Robert Kagan, Bill Kristol, have aligned themselves with Hillary Clinton. Kagan and others actually designed Clinton's foreign policy, which is why they're obsessed over Russia. That is a neoconservative tenet. Anyway, revealed. So that I explained, the Clinton indictments are going to be expedited. The writing is on the wall more than ever regarding that. You have Mike Pompeo, who's very loyal to Trump, far more than a guy worth $300 million in Tillerson. Tillerson was an establishment choice. He wasn't going to go with Pompeo right away. But now there's a DOJ email investigation. New U.S. attorneys, new federal prosecutors in Little Rock, New York, Los Angeles, D.C., new FBI Director Christopher Wray, new State Department Secretary of State, who is completely and utterly beholden to Trump and who hates Clinton. I'm Uma Abedin compared to Mike Pompeo. Okay, I don't hate Clinton. I never have hated Clinton. In fact, I used to like her back in the day. And when I was an intern at the State Department, I loved both Clintons. So that was in the late 90s. Just an intern. I was in college. Anyway, I obsess because if a criminal, one of the biggest criminals in U.S. history, committed crimes and there's evidence, then the indictments should take place. Also, had the indictments taken place, Bernie Sanders would have been the Democratic nominee. So and he would have won anyway in a fair primary. So I had the pulse on that. I was right. Anyway, they cheated, and there was an FBI cover-up. We all know. This is very interesting. Tom Fitton revealed Obama campaign hired Fusion GPS to investigate Romney. One more reason to question Obama on what he knew and when on the Clinton D.N.C. dossier his administration used to target and spy on Trump. So this is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable because they can't even cheat correctly. They don't even know how to cheat and win. They don't even know how to cheat and win, and I will read you the Daily Caller article. So, revealed Obama campaign hired Fusion GPS to investigate Romney. Not only is this a conflict of interest, but Fusion GPS was the money flowed from the Clinton campaign and the DNC. Talk about campaign finance violations. They're worried about Stormy frickin' Daniels. How about the money flowing to Perkins Coie, this is all documented. This is the Washington Post. This is the Washington Post. I cite from the Washington Post, CNN, the New York Times, sources that Hamilton 86 won't have any problems with. No one's going to accuse the Washington Post of being a Russian, Putin newspaper. But if you just look at the Washington Post, you type in D.N.C. Steele Dossier Clinton payment, she purchased the Steele Dossier. And the D.N.C. purchased the Steele Dossier, and they followed their money through the law firm, Clinton's law firm. They purchased it from Fusion GPS and also from Orbis, the company of Christopher Steele. But why did President Obama hire Fusion GPS to investigate Romney? Why are Democrats always utilizing third-party services or companies? How many third-party companies, how many outsourced companies are within the realm of the Republican National Committee? You ever see Trump utilizing a outside tech firm? In my books, But Her Top Secret Emails and But Her Deleted Emails, they will be below in the description section. Fusion GPS, CrowdStrike, Platte River, Dado Inc., the Awans, Christopher Steele. That's 6 outside entities. Cody Shearer, Sidney Blumenthal. 8 outside entities or people. There are more people outside the U.S. government helping the Democratic Party than within the United States of America. I'll read you. A new book claims former President Barack Obama hired Fusion GPS to dig up dirt on Romney. Obama used law firm Perkins Coie to hide payments from Fusion GPS. The Clinton campaign would later do the same thing to investigate Trump. What is it with, the law firm has to go testify in front of Congress. Not only do you have, this is a profanity alert. Not only do you have the Republican Party and Devin Nunes saying, yeah, you can go fuck yourself. We're out. We're out of this, mofo. We don't want to, this game, the game is up. This is effing stupid. So Adam Schiff and John Brennan, you can't leave now. You can't leave. We're just about to indict. We're just about to find evidence. See, with the Clinton email investigation, there's a mountain of evidence. All you need is Mike Pompeo. And by the way, there's a comment in my last segment, and I understand it's a reasonable comment. It's like, HA is so against the Democratic Party that he'll support Mike Pompeo, even though Pompeo is against WikiLeaks. No, I've stated many, many times, the only thing that would make me really dislike the Trump administration, or one of the few things, if they engage in a horrible regime change, yes. Okay. Maybe some other things. But if they go after Julian Assange and WikiLeaks in any way where they try to hurt him, then I would completely turn. And, my channel and my ideology would be completely against. So it's not like I'm saying, yay, Pompeo, yay. He's just a loyal, foot soldier for Trump, so to speak. Political, foot soldier, he's a loyal political ally. I'm reveling in the notion that the swamp that was supposed to have been drained a long time, or last year, is slowly being drained. And the biggest swamp creature, if you want to use that metaphor, the biggest swamp creature, this giant bloated crocodile, is Madam Secretary. She's still lurking. Just like every once in a while, you see these, these eyes pop out of the water. You can see them in the dark, and that's crocodile named Hill. And it's this giant swamp creature that is always surrounded by other crocodiles. And the other crocodiles eat, devour certain creatures and then give Crocodile Hill the leftovers. And then she can just say, well, I didn't devour anybody. It's always plausible deniability. It's always, it was the law firm. It was the Clinton Foundation. It was Correct the Record. It wasn't me. It was a D.N.C. agreement. It was Donna Brazil. It was Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It was Brian Pagliano. It was Uma Abedin. It wasn't Clinton. Clinton's like this leaf in the wind, like in Forrest Gump. Like, she doesn't even know what's happening. She's just in the middle of this. doesn't direct anything if you listen to the Democrats who cheated Bernie. Understand something. Well, whatever. I don't have to explain myself to anybody. So, the Barack Obama presidential campaign hired Fusion GPS in 2012 to dig up dirt on Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney. So, I'm just going to tweet this out. The Obama campaign hit its payments to Fusion GPS through its law firm Perkins Coie. What's with this law firm? I'm asking a question. Is it a money laundering scheme? I'm not saying Perkins Coie could be doing everything by the book. I am not accusing Perkins Coie of anything. I am accusing the Clinton Foundation of being a straight up money laundering criminal organization. That's obvious. But Perkins Coie, why are they so trusted? Does David Kendall work? I mean, why are they so trusted? The arrangement is similar to the one the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee used to pay Fusion for its investigation of then-candidate Donald Trump in 2016. So you mean to tell me that a FISA warrant was given because Fusion GPS compiled a ridiculous fake news Steele dossier through the help of Cody Shear, Sidney Blumenthal, and Christopher Steele. And Christopher Steele was not the only one compiling the dossier with Russian sources, and it was used, and it was given to Obama from James Comey, and President Obama actually utilized the same company. If this is correct, so if it turns out not to be correct, you always hear sources say, and they have to retract, and that's the Washington Post and CNN. They have no shame. So if this book is not correct, I will then say, yeah, you know what, this segment was wrong. I was off base because the book that this article cites, didn't correctly explain what was going on. But if this is true, you have a FISA warrant essentially purchased by the Clinton campaign using the Steele dossier that Fusion GPS compiled outsourced Christopher Steele to compile, and Fusion GPS is the same company that Obama used. So what is President Obama? How is the Obama administration allowing a company it used for opposition research as the basis of a FISA warrant? In 2012, Fusion GPS was hired to do opposition research on Mitt Romney for Barack Obama's campaign, reads Russian Roulette, the inside story of Putin's war on America and Donald Trump's campaign. That's hilarious. So this is actually a book that the Washington Post says indispensable. So sorry, you can't. This is hilarious. Indispensable. There have been many books about the Iraq War, and there will be many. This one, though, puts together. What? Oh, it's the Michael Isikoff, David Corn. Oh, that's the one. Clowns. Okay. Didn't Isikoff and Corn, weren't they tipped off on the Steele dossier? Oh my God, Rachel Maddow gave a review. Two of the best and most accomplished investigative journalists of their generation. Not. Two of the best investigative reporters we have in this country. A superpower reporting team, Rachel Maddow. She's been so right so many times, Rachel Maddow, about Clinton winning the election, which I said she wouldn't in 2015, to, the Russia thing's going to impeach Trump. Meanwhile, Republicans are like, later, we're out. What is this, a claim for hubris? Okay. This is the Amazon page. I don't know if I'm reading this. Okay, so anyway, the book is written by Michael Isikoff and David Korn, two veteran reporters who met during the 2016 campaign with Steele and Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson. Yes. As had become standard practice in the shadowy world of Alpo research, the Obama campaign's payments to Fusion GPS were never publicly disclosed. What? The money paid to the investigative firm was reported on campaign disclosure reports as legal bills. That is worse than anything Stormy Daniels. Both Obama and Clinton broke campaign finance laws if you want to go after this whole Stormy Daniels thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, if the Democratic Party wants to play dirty and just say, well, cheated Bernie, get over it. Oh, look at Trump. What's this $130,000 payment? What about the $3 million? The Obama for America Committee paid Perkins Coie around $3 million. And then I think it was $6 to $9 million with Clinton during the 2012 election cycle. Perkins Coie received, $12 million. Perkins Coie received more than $12 million from the Clinton campaign and D.N.C. during the 2016 election cycle. Fusion GPS was paid over $1 million for its research on Trump. The Oppo firm paid Steele just under $178,000 for his work on the dossier. This is absolutely unbelievable. Give me your thoughts below. This is absolutely unbelievable. You have a situation here where a FISA warrant was purchased. You have a situation where a FISA warrant was purchased. Nothing was independent in the Obama administration. Nothing. People want to say now, oh my God, look at the hawkish CIA director. Look at the hawks are happy. No, the neoconservatives are the hawks. They're the regime change people. They market it. They're not hawks. They're smart power people. So they've marketed themselves. And the CIA director, Gina Haspel, is from the Bush era, and most of the people who presided over the Bush era ideologically are now fueling the anti-Russia. Hamilton 68 is a Bill Kristol thing. That whole Orwellian, what's a Russia propaganda publication, what isn't? That's a neoconservative viewpoint. There's a problem on the left with information and dialogue and speech and discourse. The problem with the left, and I saw this firsthand, even though I lean left in terms of a lot of policies, the problem, and I always thought anti-war was a left-leaning policy, but I was, told time and time again that it's not by Democrats. But the problem with people on the left is they can't stand an opposing argument, even if that argument is easily defeated through logic and rational thought. Hatred, the people, and I explain this also, the people who are unfairly, in a disgusting manner, in a cowardly, shameful manner, attacking Caitlin Johnston, one of the brilliant journalists today in the world. There's like a little tiny little cult of, I guess they consider themselves Bernie or voters, but they're not really Bernie voters because everything they do helps the Democratic establishment, even though they don't think they're helping the Democratic establishment. It's like this combination of like hipster, latte drinking, social justice warrior, identity politics / pseudo-intellectual anti-fascist, not really, because they'll always gravitate towards the Democratic Party. And if you want to use the word fascist, there are just as many, actually probably more fascists in the Democratic Party than even the Republican Party. Say what you want about the Second Amendment, but fascists don't want people to be armed. That's one example that kind of pierces through the left ideology regarding fascism. But you have this really disgusting, weak, pathetic, vapid strain of thought. And it's like there's a counterpunch writer. There's a whole bunch of people. It's this really, really insane groupthink against Caitlin Johnston for some reason because she's extremely popular. Her writing is absolutely fantastic. Her arguments, whether you agree with them or not, I don't agree with Caitlin on everything. She certainly doesn't agree with me on everything. But just the level of thought that she puts in, and she's always retweeted by Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, always. And that's a huge honor. And I've been retweeted, I'm very honored in the past by Julian Assange, WikiLeaks. And that's a huge honor for me. Numerous times, huge honor. But that the people who hate her not only wouldn't very likely be retweeted by WikiLeaks or anything, they don't like one article she wrote, regarding, why don't you, if you see a policy that a conservative, somebody on the right agrees with you on, there's nothing wrong with aligning with that person for that one policy. Oh my God, I debated Benjamin Dixon on this. Oh my God, and I debated other people on this. Alex Rubinstein. Oh my God, it's the biggest issue ever. You can't align with the right. You want us to align with racists. She didn't say for you to do anything. If you're going to oppose, this is the thing. And then people say, well, just because we disagree with her? No, disagree in a civil way. But don't twist everything she wrote into your own warped version so you can then argue with your own warped version of what she wrote. You want us to align with racists? No, dummy. So the issue here is everything's all over the place. I'm sorry for this huge tangent, but give me your thoughts below. So, that's just one example of why everything is so horribly messed up on the Democratic Party end. Give me your thoughts. The interesting thing here is Fusion G, and that's another thing. The same people who dislike Caitlin pretend to dislike the Democratic Party, but everything they do serves the Democratic Party in one way or another, and justifies the cheating of Bernie. And these people are also anti-WikiLeaks, most of them. But anyway, Fusion GPS is linked to President Obama and also linked to Hillary Clinton and the D.N.C. How this is, and the Republicans just left the House Intel probe and told Schiff to go F himself. Then you have Pompeo as Secretary of State expediting the release of Clinton emails and classified information and more evidence to indict Clinton, which will eventually take place. Then the paradigm will change so drastically that everyone will again pretend to be me. In 2015, I was saying all the things that all these people, including the people who dislike Caitlin Johnston, who is a brilliant journalist, everyone should defend Caitlin Johnston. I do to the best of my ability. They're all saying now they hate Clinton, when before they didn't hate Clinton. They were like, well, she's better than Trump. That mentality is why Trump won. But Fusion GPS being linked to Obama and the DNC, I don't know how Sessions doesn't. Well, he doesn't really have to end the probe. The Mueller probe has fizzled out like a balloon. It's now a joke. The Republicans are not part of it. The whole point of the whole prestige of the Mueller probe was that, well, you had Republicans and Democrats working in a bipartisan manner. Simply because, there's that one inkling of possibility that Russia hacked the DNC, which never happened, because BuzzFeed is suing the DNC, and they have they're up the creek without a paddle. So, the issue with that is there's no evidence. BuzzFeed is literally suing the DNC for evidence to corroborate what it published, without any evidence, because it's facing defamation lawsuits. It'll very likely be sued into oblivion by Michael Cohen, the attorney, Trump's attorney, a whole bunch of people. three Russian bankers, a Russian entrepreneur, from what I understand. And I already explained how BuzzFeed can get out of this. They can do some real investigative journalism, not the David Korn, Michael Isikoff nonsense, where they can literally help conspire with Fusion GPS to deceive the country. They're two of the journalists that helped disseminate this fake news. If the tables were turned and it was Newt Gingrich and Sean Hannity and Rudy Giuliani writing a dossier about Clinton, could you imagine? And then the FISA warrant under an FBI and within the Trump administration, could you imagine? Could you imagine the level of indignation? Could you imagine the level of outrage? If Sean Hannity compiled a dossier with Russian sources, oh my God, they would say Putin is controlling the country, he's controlling the world. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Subscribe right now to this YouTube channel. We're almost at 108,000 subscribers. And I want to thank you for your support. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so much for listening.